Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Hello everyone and welcome to your English class. In our lesson today, we'll go over the expansion in your books for units 1 to 4. This is the first part from the expansion in your books, page 60 and 61. All you need for the lesson today is your books, page 60 and 61, a sheet of paper and a pen to take down your notes. So let's get started. At the beginning on your books, page 60, we're having here, you are about to give your advice or your opinion about the following. If you want to give advice or opinion, I want you this time to use should or shouldn't. So we're giving advice. Let's start with the first one. You think it's a good idea for your friend to take a math course. I am giving advice to my friend. So I will say, you should take a math course. Notice that I have used should followed by the verb take. You should take. You don't think that it's a good idea for Saif to skate without a helmet. It is not a good idea. So we will use the negative. What do you think? I will say in here that you shouldn't skate without a helmet. Should not, then skate. You shouldn't skate without a helmet. You think it's a good idea for the police to do something more about crime. So we will say here should. The police should do something more about crime. So should followed by the verb do. You should do and you shouldn't do. No, the verb is in the base form. If you want to more exercise or more clarification on this one, you can refer to your books on page 14. Then, the following exercise in your books, page 60. Now rewrite the sentences using had better. If you want to come up with a strong advice that is stronger, you're not going to use should. No, this time it is had better. It's not a rule. However, this is a stronger advice, a kind of a threat. So, we're having had better. You should take a math course. Here, let's use had better. We will say, you had better take a math course. Notice, only you will change the should into had better and the same verb. Should take, had better take. Saif shouldn't skate without a helmet. Here, let's use had better. Saif had better not skate without a helmet. So here, had better not skate without a helmet. The police should do something more about crime. Instead of should, here we will use the police had better do something more about crimes. So the only thing that you're doing, you are replacing should with had better and had better not instead of shouldn't. Okay. You can refer to page 14 as well if you want more exercise and clarification about had better. Exercise C. Complete the sentences and write sentences using ought to. Ought to is as well as just like should. Had better. It is to give advice, however, it is stronger than should, lower or let's say more mild than had better. She has an important exam tomorrow, so I have an important exam tomorrow. So, ought to. I will say, she ought to study hard. Ought to. Here, we're having, this is the idea of using the modal auxiliary followed by study, which is the base form of the verb. Faisal, aren't you freezing in that t-shirt? It's very cold and he's wearing a short sleeve t-shirt, thin one, aren't you? Then I will tell him that you ought to wear a jacket. They asked me to use ought to, now I will use wear a jacket. It's past midnight, don't you think? It is late at night, past midnight, don't you think? Ought to, you ought to go to bed. Ought to is the modal auxiliary and they will use go for the base form of the verb. So we're having maybe might, then we're having should. Stronger, we're having ought to. And the strongest, which is had better. Had better is the strongest. If you want more clarification, you can refer to page 14 as well for more examples and explanation. Here, exercise D. Complete the sentences with the reflexive pronoun. If you want more clarification, the reflexive pronouns are when we're having the subject is the object. He hurt himself. It hurt itself. She saw herself in the mirror. Someone did something to whom? To himself, not to anyone else. The subject is the object. So I finished the project all by whom? By I. So no one helped me. By myself, and no one helped me. This myself because we're having I. If you want to make sure that nothing goes wrong, do it. No one helped you. Do it yourself. If you want it, do it yourself. Make sure that everything is all right. The students organized the project. The students. Who helped them? No one helped them. Themselves. No one helped them with it. The principal said he was going to solve the problem. We're having a problem, and our school principal, himself or herself, said that she or he is going to solve it, himself or herself. No one else is going to deal with it. I will do it myself. You can refer to page 6 for more information about the reflexive pronouns. On page 61, we're having exercise G. Write sentences using I wish. This time, you will refer to unit 4, wishful thinking. Here, I received an average grade in math. This is the reality. This is what happened. But I wish that I could change the present. I would say, I wish I had studied harder. So, I wish I had. I did something. I wish I got a better mark. I wish I didn't play yesterday. I hadn't wasted my time. My friend gossips a lot. What is the idea of gossiping? It's to speak about people, is to tell about this information from here and there, speaking about other people, which is a bad idea. My friend gossips a lot, so I wish my friend didn't gossip. She gossips, I want her not to, or I want him not to, didn't. Present changed into past. Ahmed can't come to the game. I wish Ahmed could come to the game. We have changed can into could. I wish he could come to the game. I am not very tall. I am a short person. I wish I were tall. All the verbs to be will be changed into were. I wish I were my father. I wish I were the school principal. Where I would be someone else. If you want more information about it, you can refer to page 48 for more information about wishful thinking, which is the grammar lesson. Exercise H. Complete the conditional sentences using your own information. Conditional, whenever we say conditional, it means that we're having an if. If something happened, as a result, another thing would happen. If something happens, another thing would happen. We're still imagining situations. So, if I had time, in reality, I don't have time. I am a busy person. I don't have time. Had, simple past tense. If I had time, I don't have it. If I had time, I would go to the gym. This time we will use would or could, then I would go to the gym. However, I don't have time and I don't go to the gym. Number 2, if I lived in, let's imagine you are living in another place. If I lived in Italy, I would eat pasta every day. Lived, I live in Saudi Arabia. Then notice the comma, I would eat pasta every day. Notice we have used would. You can use could, I might as well. I would eat pasta every day. If I could change something in myself, about myself, could. I can't change. Then I would like to have a taller hair. Notice that I have used the comma. It should be somewhere in here. I would like to have taller hair. I have short hair. I would like to have longer hair. This one should be longer. I would have longer hair. I would like to be taller, maybe. If you want to refer to the if conditional in imaginary situations, go to your books, page 48. How about in here, the reading part? In your books, page 62 and 63. I want you to scan the text, the whole text, and find out this information. The first one, what is the title of the text? The text in here is the title is actually play ball. So instruction, play ball, do it and play ball. Then what do the pictures show? What can you see in the pictures? We're having actually 3 pictures. Can you tell about these pictures? We're having the first one, a picture of a football, the second one, a picture of a basketball, and the third one is a picture of a volleyball. 3 types of balls, volleyball, basketball, and we're having the other one, which is the football. And I believe that you are all familiar with. They are all the thing that is common amongst them. It is a team playing. We're having a team in each one of them, and we're having a ball that is involved. For each one of them, we're having a ball involved. Okay, so let's start with the first one, which is about football. I want you to listen to the text and come up with an answer for these 3 questions. Which nations played football? The nations that played football. 2. Where was the rubber ball invented? So you're looking for rubber ball. And the last one, how was football spread throughout the world? Spread, so not in one country, spread throughout the world. Let's listen to the text and you will tell me about it. Let's listen.
Play ball. Football. Forms of football have been played for thousands of years by various civilizations. As far back as 2500 BCE, the Chinese played a form of the game and called it Tsu. The natives of the Pacific Islands played the game using their hands and feet, and they used coconuts and animal bladders as balls. The Inuits of northern Canada played football on ice and used balls filled with caribou hair and grass. Other Native Americans played on fields that had enough space for 1,000 players to be playing at the same time, and matches usually lasted for more than 1 day. The games were so rough that the players often got broken bones. In Mexico and Central America, people invented the rubber ball and played in courts 40 to 50 feet, 12 to 15 meters, long, surrounded by walls several feet high. In the middle of each wall, there was a stone with a hole in the middle or a wooden ring, and the idea was for players to hit the hard rubber ball through the hole or ring. But it was not until 1863 in England that the first set of rules was put together to make football the game it is today. Football was spread throughout the world by British sailors and settlers, and all major innovations in the game such as leagues, professionalism, and international matches originated in England.
Okay. So which nations played football? When we're speaking about nations, we're not speaking about people nowadays who are living nowadays. We're speaking about older people. With the Romans, we're having the Chinese older people and those. So here we're speaking which nations? Speaking about the Chinese, the native of the Pacific Islands, so the Pacific Islands, and also the Inuits. We're having the Inuits of northern Canada and the Native Americans. So these are the people, and you can refer to the first paragraph where you can find information about which ones did what in the history of football. Number 2, where was the rubber ball invented? What is my keyword that I am looking for? You're looking for the word rubber ball. Rubber ball, and then you will find that in Mexico and Central America. People used to play with coconuts, people used to play with many other things. However, the Mexicans and in Central America, they invented the ball that we know nowadays. Then, question number 3, how was football spread throughout the world? It started in there, then it spread all over the world. Now it is the most popular game or sport that is played all over the world. How did this happen? It happened because by the British sailors and settlers. When they sail through the sea and they settle in a certain place, then their culture is going to spread. That's why we're having it spread all over the world. Okay, the following, we're speaking about basketball this time. You will listen to the text and come up with who invented basketball. You will find a name. Then tell me why he or she invented basketball. Question 2. What are the changes that have taken place to basketball? It started as a game, then we're having changes. They changed this, that, maybe the net, maybe they have changed the ball, the rules. What did they change? Let's listen together.
Basketball. In 1891, Dr. James A. Naismith, a physical education teacher at a school in Springfield, Massachusetts, in the United States, was asked to create a game that could be played indoors during the harsh winters. So Naismith put up 2 peach baskets on opposite walls of the gymnasium and got his class of 18 students to play a game of basketball. The team that dropped the ball into the basket more times won. At first, a football was used, but in 1894, it was decided that the ball should be 32 inches, 81 centimeters, around and weigh 17.6 ounces, 500 grams. In spite of all the changes that have taken place since then in the game of basketball, the size of the ball has remained the same, but the weight has increased to 21 ounces, 600 grams. The baskets used in early games had the bottoms in them, and after each goal, someone had to climb a ladder in order to get the ball out and put it back into play. In 1906, open baskets were introduced, which allowed the ball to pass through, and as a result, the pace of the game became faster. In the beginning, no backboards were used either. Therefore, fans sitting behind the basket would push away the ball when the opponent was going to score. Also in the early days, each team was made up of 9 players. It wasn't until 1897 that the 5-player team became official.
So, who invented basketball and why? We need here a name. He was actually Dr. James Naismith. He is a physical education teacher. He invented basketball. So a physical education teacher, students are going to play with him. So he came up with a game which is called basketball, a ball and a basket. Why did he invent it? Because he wanted something. He was asked, maybe the school principal asked him for a game that could be played indoors during harsh winters. In Massachusetts, it is very cold in winter. It gets below the 0, so freezing cold. The students can't go outside to play. Harsh winter, very hard winters. So they can't play outside. Are they going to sit inside without playing? No. They have to play something. This basketball, it is a kind of a game that they can be played indoors when the weather is too cold. So he came up, it is his own idea. The game started as a simple and an easy game. Then it developed. Things have changed gradually. Every, let's say, maybe 3 to 4 years, we will have a new rule, or the ball will be changed. What are these things that have changed? We're having changes. The ball size increased. It was small, then it was increased, the ball size. The opened bottom basket. In the past, they have a basket that is closed inside. Whenever we're having the ball, it will stand in here, it will sit where it is, then someone have to come up and pick it up. Then they opened it. The backboard were added. At the back, when you are hitting the ball, then it will go to the audience. So we're having the backboard. So it will, the ball is going to hit in there. And the number of the players was changed. It was 9, then it turned to be 5. So the number of the players have been changed. So these are all because it was invented as a school game, then it became like more popular, so things have to be changed until the version that we know nowadays. The following game we're speaking about here, we're speaking about volleyball. How did volleyball begin? The beginning. How did it begin? And how does a team win a rally? So we're having rallies. One team will win the rally. How? What would they do? What should they do? Let's listen together.
Volleyball. Volleyball was officially included in the Olympic Games in 1964. It began as an indoor sport, created by William G. Morgan, a physical education director, in 1895. The game borrowed characteristics from tennis and handball, and was originally designed for older players. Volleyball is played on a court, divided by a net. The game begins with a team player serving the ball, tossing it in the air and hitting it with his hand or arm, over the net and into the other team's court. The receiving team must prevent the ball from falling on the ground. Each team is allowed to touch the ball 3 times before hitting it back over the net. Individual players may only touch the ball once. Each turn after serving is called a rally. Each team tries to ground the ball on the opponent's court and win the rally. If a team commits a fault, it loses. Common faults include a double hit by the same player, grounding the ball outside the opponent's court, missing the net or touching it during the game, a net foul, and a foot fault, when the foot of the player who is serving crosses over the boundary line or the court. Players have to observe a considerable number of rules and develop techniques such as spiking and blocking that require mastery of the vertical jump so players can hit the ball when it's above the top of the net.
Okay, so how did volleyball begin? At the beginning, how did it start? We're having here, it began as an indoor sport, just like basketball. It will be played indoors. Created by Williams Morganen in 1895. The game borrowed some characteristics from tennis, handball, and was originally designed for older people. So this is the beginning. It started as a combination between handball, that's why they are using hands, and we're having tennis, that's why we're having the net. So a combination between 2 games, and it was played indoors. And these days, it is played outdoors and indoors. These are some of the changes that happened to it. And in the past, only older people can play this game. However, today, everyone can play it regardless of the age. Then, how does a team win a rally? We're having a rally, which is just like the football match. Someone who would win it if they ground the ball on the opponent's court. So we're having the court, which is the ground. If the ball hit the ground on the opponent, the other team's court. That is for the volleyball. Let's try to answer some of the true or false questions. Although football had been played for hundreds of years, the set of rules for the current game was only established in 1863. In which text are you going to find the answer for this one? You will find it in the first text, which is about football. So you will find out about the set of rules. And another keyword that you can find in here, it is the 1863. 1863, which is the time. So what happened in 1863? Is it the set of rules for the current game was established in that day? I guess yes. So yes, it is true. So it is a very old game that has been played since ancient ages. However, the rules that we know today have changed and changed over time, and they have been set in the 1863. Number 2, if the Native Americans had played on regular-sized football fields, there wouldn't have enough space for all the players. Maybe they had many players in the past. So it is yes, the Native Americans, they had more than 11 players. So the size of the field that we know nowadays is not going to be enough for all the players that will play in the Native Americans. So this is telling us that in the past they used to have more than 11 players. However, today we're having less than the past. In Central America, the idea was for players to hit the ring with the ball. What do you think? You're going to look into the Central America. We're still speaking about football and hitting the ring. Do you think it's right? I believe it's false. What was wrong with it? They didn't have like a goal. It was a ring and they have to go through. It goes through the ring. So to hit the ring with the ball. It's not hitting, it's to go through it. It is a kind of a goal that we know nowadays. The following, number 4. Before basketball, people weren't used to playing sports games indoors during the hard winters in the United States. So what did they use in the past? Before it? So yes, it is true. That's why we were having basketball was invented, because whenever it is very harsh winter, very cold in the winter, people are going to find something to play indoors. So before basketball, people will not play indoor games. Number 5. In the early days of basketball, the game ended as soon as one of the players managed to drop the ball into one of the baskets. So in here, you will find it in the basketball part. So in the past, when someone would drop the ball into the net, which was the closed ones, the game is going to be ended. Do you think that it's right? I guess it is not right. So it's not going to be ended whenever someone would drop it. They will still count the number of goals. Each team tries to win the rally. When we're speaking about rally, so which sport? We're speaking about the volleyball, by grounding the ball on each other's court. So each team in the volleyball trying to manage to put the ball on the ground, not in my floor, on the ground of those others. So I guess it is true. Yes, it is a true sentence. And they are always trying to manage to hit the ground for as if it were a goal. Okay, I guess that is it for the lesson today. And thank you so much for your time.